Hi everyone, and welcome to another video on my channel. My name is Emilia, and we're here chatting all about fragrances, beauty tips. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. And I hope you will stay with the family of fragrance lovers like me. If you're returning to my channel, thank you so much, and hope you will enjoy this video. As you could see from the title, in this video I'm going to talk to you about mistakes that we do when it comes to fragrances, as well give you some tips, and I hope you will find this video really useful and hopefully to learn something as well together with me. So let's get started. Basically what I wanted to point out, of course it's going to be a chit chat between us, so feel free to have your coffee, have your water like me here, or just have a snack here and just enjoy the video. And again, don't forget to click on the subscribe button over there in the corner, and also click on the bell so that you get my notifications when I'm uploading a new video, so that you can take part of it and enjoy that. Now, in regards to the points that I wanted to start with when it comes to fragrances and mistakes that we are doing, number one would be the fact that we assume that eau de toilette and eau de parfum, they are same, just that the eau de parfum, it's more intense, it smells stronger, it lasts longer. Well, my dear ladies, that's not the case. If you have seen my previous video for the haul of fragrances, I did mention the difference between an eau de toilette in the case of Chanel Eau Tendre, and in regards to the Chanel Eau Tendre Eau de Parfum. So for example, the ingredients are completely different. One of them can be more intense, have additional ingredients, have additional notes. So do keep this in mind whenever you purchase your fragrances. Do your research, see what's the difference, have them tested in the store, see which one you like better, which one suits you more, which one represents you more. Because obviously when we are purchasing, for example, Chanel fragrance, we're talking about a difference of a couple of hundreds of dollars or euros, depending from where you are. And that can be sometimes a major decision-making point. So take your time, make your research, and have some fun in the stores, test them, see which one lasts longer if you're looking for a fragrance that lasts longer, see the notes as well, and that's about it basically when we come to think about that eau de toilette and eau de parfum, they're the same. Number two is that we do not use the proper amount of fragrances. So we either overdo it, where we just take the bottle and spray all around us. It's nice, but if you're in a work environment where you're surrounded by hundreds of other people or a couple of tens of other people, you don't want to smell like a bottle of fragrance that was just dropped down and broke, and a headache inducing person, because that's not what we're looking at. We do want to get noticed. We do want to show our personality through the fragrances that we're wearing. However, you shouldn't overdo it. Now, on the other hand, there are those of us that, just applying one spray, we assume that that's enough. So what I would recommend when it comes to spraying is, first of all, test your fragrance if it's new. See how it performs. If it's one of those lighter fragrances that, yes, they need top-ups, they need additional sprays, then go ahead, do that. But like Alien, which I brought with purpose in the video, you don't need to overdo it, because too much goes to too much, meaning you will have headache induced. You will have headache, people around you will have headache, and that's not what we are looking at. So keep that in mind. I would recommend with fragrances that they are strong to apply 3, maybe 4 or 5 sprays. With fragrances that they need, an additional attention, go along, go crazy, go mad, put 7, 9 sprays. And what always I recommend when applying fragrances is try to apply it on your clothes. Um, of course, some of us might experience a sensitive or rash skin after applying fragrances, especially men. So if you're a man, keep that in mind. Try not to apply it on your neck or skin directly. Instead, try on the collars so that you don't cause rashes on your skin or different reactions. Then try to apply it here in this area. For women, we have the options to apply it on the hair, but keep in mind fragrances have alcohol, so you might see that your hair gets damaged. So give the necessary care for your hair as well if you choose to apply it on your hair. And also try to avoid the chest area because it's very sensitive skin here. So if you really want to have a fragrance around your chest area, just try to put it, somewhere on your clothes instead. The other thing that you could do when it comes to enhance the power of a fragrance and make it long lasting is to try to layer it. So, for example, in my case, I have here body lotion, which I apply after a shower, and I have a shower gel. So, I make sure that it stays well in my skin. Obviously, I'm not going to wear this in a 40 degrees temperature at 10 o'clock in the morning. However, if I do go, I don't know, out in the night, have a dinner, a date night, that's when I would use this combo. So, it stays longer. I smell nice. It's a really, really nice fragrance. It's one of my favorites actually. Alien by Mugler. But you have to be careful with it. If you love jasmine, I totally recommend you this. If you don't get along with jasmine, just experience other fragrances from the Mugler. They are really long lasting fragrances and quality fragrances, so that's why I pointed out. Now, number 3. One of the other mistakes we do when it comes to fragrances is not knowing when to apply a fragrance. So I have here a few fragrances. This is Oriflame, actually Love Potion Midnight Wish. So it should tell us that this is a fragrance that we would like to use at evening times, night times. We don't want to put this and smell like caramelized cherries and coffee beans at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's a fragrance that goes in the evening time. Now, again, I don't want to use, for example, Euphoria from Calvin Klein at 10 o'clock in the morning or going to the office because obviously it's not the occasion for this fragrance. So this is a fragrance, again, that you would like to use to an event, to a dinner, obviously, and not going out for shopping, for example. So it's really important to do your research when you're buying a fragrance or when you're wearing a fragrance. See what's the occasion when it goes along. Again, I'm not going to point out that, for example, Trésor La Nuit from Lancôme, it doesn't go to be worn in an office because men react to fragrances. It's obvious. So I don't want people to just turn heads around and it's like, what's this, what she's wearing, because every fragrance has its suitable occasion for it. Then we're going to number 4. Number 4, it's more to do with storage. This is one fragrance that used to be the color of my shirt, like crystal light blue, and it turned into a mossy greeny liquid, as you can see. Obviously, this it's not because of the storage, but this is what I'm going to discuss about. Fragrances do tend to change color in time. Obviously, this is a fragrance that I have for more than 10 years in my collection, and you might wonder why on earth I'm still keeping this fragrance. Well, it has a sentimental value to me, this bottle. It's my first fragrance that I purchased in Morocco when I was there, and it's my first fragrance also from Avon that I've ever had. It was one of the fragrances that I really, really enjoyed when I was in high school, and my colleagues, they had it. I really wanted to have it, and I said to myself, once I grow up, I have my own money, I'm working on my own, and I can afford it, I will buy it. So this was, you know, like cherry on top of a cake. And that's why I kept it. The fragrance remained the same. Initially, it smells more like alcohol than the fragrance itself, but once it passes a few minutes, it stays. Now, we're talking about a fragrance that is in my collection for more than 10 years. Imagine if I was keeping this fragrance in the sun. Obviously, we know fragrances should be kept properly. So if you have the boxes and you have a drawers, keep them in dark places. Also, make sure that if you're living in a humid area like I am in Cyprus, make sure that you keep them in a dark space, cooled space, because fragrances will change, either the color or then the smell itself, it will change, and you will end up decluttering it or not using that fragrance and not enjoying it anymore. So be really, really careful with how you store your fragrances, where you keep them. And obviously, make sure that they are away from sun. That's really, really important. Now, the fifth mistake that we tend to do is to buy fragrances from stores, from retail stores mainly, that they tend to overprice the fragrance. So, as an alternative, I would suggest you to either make your research, find out when the retail stores have their own discount seasons, such as after Christmas or maybe before Christmas, depending from the country that you're living in. Maybe see if there are some sale seasons in springtime, like beginning of seasons, for example, or if you have the opportunity maybe to see if in autumn time when it starts the school, maybe there are again discounts. So know when those stores, retail stores, have their discount season so that you can purchase the same fragrance but at a much better price. So we're talking about discounts of 20-30%. In some cases even you can find fragrances being sold with 50% discounts at different occasions. Have that in mind, because obviously when we're having purchases of a couple of hundreds of dollars or euros, it's not the same if I'm going to buy those fragrances with an additional 50% discount or not, because you can repurpose those funds. You can buy additional fragrances that you might have on your wish list. The other option that you could do, and that's what I'm doing recently, is buying fragrances from outlet stores. So these stores, they have the option for you to purchase the fragrances online. They do not have a shop, so you cannot enter in the store and smell around the fragrances. But if they're outlet stores, they will sell the same fragrances usually. There are, of course, scam companies, beware of that as well. But the outlet stores that you trust, you test it, they will sell you the same fragrance with at least additional 30-40% discount. Add to it sometimes the additional discounts that they do, like sales. So there you go, you have another 50-60% saved on your fragrances. And we're talking about money, honey. So be careful with that. Another thing that I really, really want to point out, and this is from my own experience, when purchasing fragrances, and you decide to go online, because yes, there are amazing stores online available, and yes, they're selling authentic fragrances. Keep in mind that if you go and choose to purchase your fragrances from eBay, there's a high probability and high risk of ending up with fake fragrances. And I do want to point this out, especially like in my case, I ordered Carolina Herrera Good Girl. I ended up with a fake. The difference was only of 20 euros. But the reason why I decided to purchase it from eBay is because I couldn't find at that point Carolina Herrera Good Girl, the original, in whole Cyprus. So there was a shortage of the product, and therefore I said, okay, 20 euros difference, okay, eBay, let's go it. The good point that eBay has is that money back is guaranteed. So if you end up with the fake ones, usually they will not ask you to send back the fake product. You just make a complaint, you get your money back, or you contact the seller himself and they will let you to keep the product, and on top of that have your money back. So That's one point. However, there are stores online that they do not have this policy, so have that in your mind whenever you go purchase online stuffs. Also, what I like to do when I'm testing new stores, like I did with Euphoria shopping in Cyprus here, and they became one of my favorite shops, stores online when it comes to shopping for fragrances. I purchased one fragrance, so to test and see if they are indeed selling originals or not. So if you know you purchase hundreds of fragrances, you do end up taking a higher risk should that store sell you fake fragrances. Therefore, I recommend you to start with purchasing one fragrance, test it. The way I did it, once I received my order, I put it on my hand. Like on my right hand, I put the one that I already have it, and I went inside the store, a retail shop that I know that sells only originals, and I sprayed the left hand with the same fragrance, and I smelled both of them. I compared them. I said through the days how they perform, if there's any difference. Obviously, if there's no difference, you can rest assured that you're selling. You purchased the original ones, not a fake one. So that's really important to do that if you're not sure if you're purchasing real ones or not, especially when it comes to new stores or outlet stores. The way that we tend to see outlet stores is that they're selling crappy fake products, but that's not the case. The reason why they have those price differences, it's because first of all they don't have that high operational costs. So when you run a retail perfume store, you have operational costs quite high. You might want to rent the place of your store. You might have to pay your employees if you're having 5, 10 employees, assistants selling fragrances. Obviously, there's a wage that you have to take care of, and who will pay for that? You, because you're the one purchasing it. And this is a difference that you have to keep in mind all the time. And when it comes to fragrances, this is something that people should think about. Now, I'm not saying that all retail shops are expensive. Of course, there are countries where the retail shops do tend to sell fragrances at lower prices, but that's not the case in Cyprus. So there's a huge difference. Sometimes I end up with a difference of 40 to 50 euros per bottle, and that's a major difference, because with that I can purchase at least another one or two other fragrances. And when you're on budget, that's something that can be a difference maker. And moving forward, I have another point when it comes to fragrances. Again, know when to wear and what fragrances on the occasions. Of course, I touched this point, but what I really want for you guys to keep in mind is that when we're going to occasions such as weddings, christenings, we don't want again to overpower, to have that extra attention, because those days are for those special people for whom we're going and attending their weddings or the christenings of the little ones. So we don't want to be that outstanding persons, because we are not the one that are being celebrated. So again, be careful what fragrance you're wearing. There are of course very nice fragrances for these kind of occasions. I tend to use fragrances that are more distinct, and of course they do not overpower. Maybe you could wear some of these more soapy fragrances or more floral ones, but not the ones that they are really strong. And that's when it comes to fragrances and occasions again. So know your fragrances, when to use it, for what occasion, how much to put, and that's about it. How much to spray as well, that's really important. So these are points that I just wanted to make sure that I pointed out again. And another really important fact, and we have misconception about when it comes to fragrances, is that we think that fragrances can stay and they don't have an expiry. Yes, they do have expiry, and even though it's alcohol, when I mean some fragrances will remain the same, you might notice a difference, like in my case. But I had another fragrance that I completely had to declutter it, and it's not because I didn't store it in a proper way. It's just that it was too old. It was a fragrance that it went bad on its own with time. So have that in mind again when you're purchasing fragrances, because again, if we purchase too many fragrances and we just keep them there, we forget about them and we just add on top of it, then we will not take advantage of those fragrances that we have in our collections. And if you don't mind, of course, wasting your money and just, you know, repurchasing the fragrances that they went bad and just declutter them, fine. But if you're on a budget and you want to save, one way is to make sure that those fragrances that they are in your collections are being used. And one way that I like to do that is by rotating my fragrances. So that's why I started to do on my channel also a monthly tray video where I show you guys the fragrances that I'm being planning to use or I've been using in the particular month. Of course, that doesn't mean that only those fragrances that I showed you guys are going to be worn by me, because if I have a mood to wear, I don't know, a spring summer alien because I'm a fan, I absolutely love this fragrance and I can just talk about it day and night. I even have a copy of it, which I showed you in my previous videos. And I absolutely love this fragrance. So have this in mind, work around with your fragrances, play around with your fragrances, rotate them, give them a chance. And another thing that is really important when it comes to fragrances, and this is something that I want to point out again, and it's a mistake that we do, is that we don't give a chance for the fragrances. So, for example, it happened to me that I had a fragrance which I didn't like initially, and that is Chloe Nomad, the original one. So that smelled to me very much like a masculine fragrance, and I didn't like it initially, and I said that's not for me. However, when I started wearing it, I said yes, it is a beautiful, a unique fragrance. Yes, it does have that tendency towards a masculine fragrance. However, it's unique. It has those nice ingredients like Mirabelle. It has that mossiness, that greenness in it. Therefore, I said it's an amazing fragrance. I want to use it and I want to wear it. Now, of course, there are fragrances that they are not going to be compatible with the pH of your skin. That's perfectly fine. It happened to me. There was one fragrance that I took from Oriflame, and it was between my fragrances that I loved how it smelled from the bottle, but the moment I wear it on my skin, it went bad, like a stinkiness. And I couldn't understand that the first time. So I put it again and again and again, and the same happened. And I said, it's impossible that a fragrance that smells so beautiful, it had guava in it as well, and it had this pinky color fragrance, and it's beautiful floral fruity combination, that smells so bad on me. Well, this is chemistry. This is how we are. This is how my skin reacted to that particular fragrance. Therefore, I had to just declutter it. I gave it actually to my daughters, and on their skins, it stays that beautiful fragrance that is coming out from the bottle. It doesn't change. So have that in mind as well. What I recommend always is when it comes to fragrances, test them before you decide to buy the full bottle. See how it works with your body's chemistry, see how it performs, see how it lasts. Now, the last point that I wanted to point out in this number, which is number 7, it's give again the opportunity to test the fragrance in different seasons. And I will tell you this from experience. For example, one of the fragrances that I purchased recently, which is this, and I have also another fragrance from Oriflame. It happened the same. So the fact that you might purchase a fragrance in summer but it's more suitable for winter doesn't mean that there's something wrong with the fragrance. It's just that it's not suitable for that season. So give the fragrance a chance. Keep it there in your store. Don't just declutter it after one use and you said, nah, it's not for me, it's nasty, it's not me, it doesn't represent me. Give the fragrance a chance. Try it in different seasons, how it performs, see how it reacts to you, and what smell and how do you feel with that fragrance. It happened to me that I tried a fragrance which was designated for winter time in summertime because I took the fragrance at a very good discounted price and I ended up hating that fragrance. I'm talking about Giordani Gold Original, which is very, very popular between Oriflame lovers. And it's a fragrance that does not suit me in summertime, especially in this humid summer that we're having here in Cyprus. Therefore, what I did, I just left it in my fragrance cupboard and left it there. It was sitting there literally for months. And then one day I said, let's give a try again for this fragrance. What's that hype about between all Oriflame lovers? And believe me, my mood changed. I ended up using that fragrance during the whole winter. So a full bottle ended up being half emptied just because I ended up wearing it in the perfect season. So that's really, really important. Know when to wear which fragrance and make your research about them. See some feedbacks, go along. And of course, nowadays we are in a modern world where we have access to internet. We have the possibility to see reviews. Go through reviews, see how people react, see what's their feedback. And the way I'm doing purchases, besides purchasing from different online outlet stores, it's by doing a lot of research. I'm spending days and days doing research about the fragrance. I'm checking comments, I'm checking notes, I'm checking reviews, I'm checking different prices. And do that because obviously that's going to pay off for you. You will have better deals. You will know whether that's something for you or not. Of course, the other thing that you could do is go to your retail stores, have them tested, and then if you're happy with the product, go and buy it instead of the retail store, buy it from an outlet store. So again, you save money. You add value to what you're doing. I really, really hope that this video is going to be appreciated by you guys, by perfume lovers, and also by the perfume community here on YouTube. And I do hope that I pointed out the most important mistakes, and I hope it's going to be lesson learned for you as well, because I did mistakes. Obviously, all of us, we make mistakes, we are humans, but I wanted to share my experience with you guys and give you a better idea in regards to fragrances, what to do, what to avoid, what mistakes I did, and what you could avoid, of course, and something that can save you also money overall. And if you find my videos interesting, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. Click on the notification bell at the end of the videos so that you can follow up and see what videos are being released by me. I tend to have regular video releases. And if you could, again, just put some comments in regards to what were those important and facts that, might help you with your future fragrance purchases, or even if you have any fragrances that you could recommend me to test, to try out, and the reason why you think that fragrance is very nice, very particular, very unique, and why should I try it out, so that I can, of course, increase the number of videos as well to try something new, try your taste, because from my videos you can see where I stand with the fragrances, what I like to experience with, what I like to wear. And I thank you so much for all the support again. Thank you for being part of my family of fragrances, and till next time, bye bye.